Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Daryl Wayne and I are going to do a little bit of an experiment as we social distance from each other as we talk to people from around the country here on Late Night Health. Now, we're not going to just talk about the coronavirus. We're going to talk about other things that are really important, including prostate cancer. We're going to talk about working from home and trying to do a work-life balance, and we'll wrap up today's episode with a discussion, we're not even sure what, with Robert Clancy from Guide to the Soul. I want to start off by just asking Daryl, any major changes in your life? You're basically in a studio from morning till night. Have you had any changes in the coronavirus, with the coronavirus situation?
Well, I do a program on Wednesday nights. It's live, and normally we have 3 or 4 or 5 people in the studio, and sometimes some bands and all of that. And this last week, it was just me in the studio by myself and one of the co-hosts Skyping in. So, yeah, there have been some changes. There's some people that are, very aware and of the space issue and pay attention to that. And then there's the hordes of people that hit the beach this last weekend that could care less. So, I guess it depends on.
I wasn't up in Ventura. Did they do that in Ventura?
Every beach community.
It's too cold to be outside.
There's no such thing here.
It's true. Were the kids out on the beach?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't get up that far. Well, thank you. And, of course, as always, I invite you to join in. Just join in. I can't see you this time. But maybe
it's better off that way.
We'll be back together. So we're going to go to, I believe, Northern California, and we're going to speak with Mike Vanneman. He is the Vice President of Development and Major Gifts for the Prostate Cancer Foundation, Killing Together. Mike, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mike and I had coffee prior to the outbreak of the coronavirus, and it was nice to meet him. He's a good friend of Mike Anderson, and we look forward to working with Mike in the coming months. Mike, let's talk about you. You are a successful businessman, and you went to the doctor one day, and what happened?
Well, I went to the doctor one day as a follow-up to a PSA test, and which I've been getting since probably in the mid-40s. I'm 63, probably starting when I was 50, and all my PSA scores, PSA stands for prostate-specific antigen. It's a blood test that men can get starting at around 50, and basically it's an indicator of potential cancer. So the doctor said, hey, your score jumped up a little bit, still within normal range, but I think we should do a biopsy. And I said, you sure? Said, yes, I think we should. Again, I'm not too concerned about it, but let's do this biopsy. Takes about a half an hour, and I'm sure you'll be fine. So we did the biopsy, and sure enough, they discovered 2 small cancerous spots on my prostate. And when you hear those words, you've got cancer, it certainly is alarming, and yet opens you up to a whole new world.
How long did it take for the results to come back? Because that waiting period, to me, is what would really put me over the edge.
Yes, the waiting period is a challenge. And just so happens that every time I've had to do a major test, it lapses over a long holiday weekend. So you add an extra day in there, and you're really starting to feel the tension a little bit more. But it was about a week, for those results to come in.
And when the doctor said to you, Mike, we found cancer, what went through your mind? What was the first thing?
Well, I think the words were really, I mean, me? That happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me. And so, but sure enough, it was me that they were talking about. And the second thought I had was my children, wondering how they will take the news, and I wanted to make sure that whenever I told them, or when I told them, I did it in the most factual and optimistic but realistic light. And once I kind of got myself through those first two hurdles, I said, okay, let's do this. We'll get this taken care of. So it wasn't a great feeling, but you quickly kind of lace up your boots and march forward.
And you made a significant change in your life. You were running a successful, I'm going to call it a headhunter business, and maybe several of those, and you gave those up, got rid of them, and decided you wanted to give back, and became the VP of development for the Prostate Cancer Foundation. What was the motivation?
I did. Well, so part of it was, yes, I wanted to give back, but certainly I was fortunate through the introduction of a friend of mine and also a fellow donor to the foundation to be introduced to the CEO, our CEO of the Prostate Cancer Foundation, Dr. Jonathan Simons. And my friend John introduced me to Dr. Simons via text, and Dr. Simons' assistant immediately got back to me and said he can talk with you next week. And he was very helpful in terms of providing me with some perspective on different treatment options. And I got successfully treated at Stanford University with a procedure called high-dose radiation. And then 6 months later, I had this thought, well, maybe the Prostate Cancer Foundation could use some help. I looked at their development team. It seemed to be a small but mighty team. And I emailed Dr. Simons and I said, I'd like to be of help to the organization. Can we talk? And he said, sure. And that started a 5 to 6 month process. And I ended up last October in the end of 2019 joining the organization. So, and the reason I wanted to join the organization was they've had a major impact on research and bringing cures and treatments to prostate cancer. And I wanted to be a part of that organization that completes the mission, which is to end suffering and death from prostate cancer.
And we should point out that, for the most part, early detection, especially in prostate cancer, can save lives.
Absolutely. And I can't stress enough and be extremely strident in my response. Gentlemen, get tested. Go to your doctor. Ask for a PSA test. And don't be concerned about a digital rectal exam. It's part of the process. And be mindful of your overall health. Maintain a healthy diet. And the odds are you'll be fine. But 1 in 9 men in the United States, I believe, are diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 7 men of African American descent are diagnosed with prostate cancer. So, and it's a very real issue.
Men over a certain age have a higher incidence as well. We're going to be taking a break shortly, and we're going to do some business. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion of prostate cancer. The key thing here is be tested. And there are a wide variety of treatments available that can help save lives, and that's really, really important. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. If you're looking for information on a wide variety of health, you can check us out at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com, or go wherever fine podcasts are available. We'll be back as the Late Night Health continues. Don't go away.
Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Allen. The show continues in a moment.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Just so everybody knows, this week, our first week, we are social distancing. Daryl and I do not get to see each other. However, I miss him. I'm not so much sure that he misses me. Daryl, any comment there?
A tear will be shed at some point.
I got it. We are talking about prostate cancer with Mike Vanneman, the Vice President of Development and Major Gifts. Do most men not want to know, Mike? They don't go in for the digital exam. They don't go in for the PSA test.
Well, yes, for some reason, men are generally a little skittish about, annual checkups and monitoring their health until they reach a certain age, and then we can become more and more concerned about it as we come to terms with our mortality and realize we're not going to live forever. But for some reason, there's this squeamishness about, talking about prostate cancer or getting a digital rectal exam and or other exams, and you shouldn't be. I mean, it can literally save your life because your urologist or your trained primary care physician knows how to conduct that digital rectal exam correctly and can assess the health of the prostate in one way or another through a combination of the blood test as well as the rectal exam. So don't be shy about it. Get it done. It lasts no more than 15 seconds. and you're well on your way. So get tested, and again, it can save your life.
One of the things that you told me when we met, which was interesting to me, was that you decided at first not to do anything. That's one. And two, once you decided to do something, you did a lot of research. You didn't just say, okay, do whatever you want, doc. You went out and found a doctor whose ideology, his treatment methods, met with what Mike Vanneman wanted.
That's correct. And really I began a process of identifying what are the common treatments for prostate cancer immediately. And you really have two options: surgery, removing the prostate, or radiation. And there are side effects to both treatment protocols. And as I started to study the surgical route, I just didn't like the chances of side effects. 50% probability of erectile dysfunction, and often that can be permanent. 50% or more probability of incontinence, and that may or may not go away. And I didn't like those options, to be honest. And then I started looking at...
Nobody would.
Yeah, exactly. And then I started to look at the radiation treatment that my urologist had suggested. And again, I didn't feel good about those side effects and the percentage chances. And then I said to myself, well, the heck with it, I'm just going to not do anything. I'm not going to get treated. I'd rather have 10 good years in terms of quality of life, and that was the driver of my the choice of treatment protocol versus 25 years of compromised quality of life. And of course, my kids said, "No, Dad, that not getting treated, that's not an option." So that motivated me to really do a deep dive into the research and look at the treatment landscape, and I discovered high-dose radiation, BT, brachytherapy, or HDR-BT, and I discovered that there were two top radiation oncologists that on the West Coast that provide this treatment. One is at UCLA, Dr. David Demontes, and the other one is at Stanford University, Dr. Mark Moyanowski. And once I started to research that treatment approach, I felt better about getting treated and met with both physicians and decided to get treated at Stanford.
We should note again that prostate cancer is not necessarily a death sentence. And when somebody says to you, a primary care physician says, "George, you have cancer," George goes into a denial, a panic, and even an anger mode before settling down and listening to a variety of treatment options. I think
that's correct. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I think that's correct. And I think what happens is when you're delivered bad news, especially news involving cancer, you immediately get into this window of frenetic behavior and thought like, oh my gosh, I've got to do something about this right now. And operating and making decisions from within that environment or that, if you will, frenetic mindset is not going to lead to the best decision. And so the majority of the time, most prostate cancer diagnoses did not require immediate treatment, immediate response. I would say most of the time. Some of the times it does, and that requires guidance from your urologist and your radiation oncologist or your surgeon, whoever you pick. But you have time to go through the process of really looking at treatment options, advocating for your own health, and then deciding what are your values, what's most important to you. That's how you make the right decision. And
making the right decision for you, not allowing the doctor or healthcare provider to make that decision. Their job, in my opinion, is to say you can do this, this, or this. Or you can go out and find a fourth one, right?
That is absolutely correct. I realized that I realized that I wanted to make the decision based on facts, based on science, based on research, and ultimately that was my decision, which treatment path I would go on. And so I opted to not follow the options that my urologist had extended to me. Rather, I chose to look for other approaches, and I'm grateful that I did. And my health is in great condition. My PSA scores are in the range that they like. I have no side effects, so I'm very fortunate. But
you still have your prostate.
No, yes, that's correct. Absolutely. I elected to get high-dose radiation treatment as opposed to having my prostate removed.
I don't think a lot of men realize that that's an option.
That might be the case. I think that you don't have to have your prostate removed as that's the default approach. Again, I think you have to decide what's important to you, and then you have to go look at a wide range of options. And I truly want to stress that men should consider only proven, medically tested, sound treatment plans and protocols. I would avoid alternative or other kinds of treatment options. I just think that we're blessed here in the United States with excellent care. We have resources, and strongly suggest that people go with scientific research-backed treatment options as opposed to others.
And there are, just so you know, there are alternative treatments that have been tested. And even when something is tested, we're going through a thing right now with one of the product to stop indigestion, and they found out 10 years later it was carcinogenic. Not a good thing. But we'll talk about that next time. When we do this again, in about a month and a half, we'll be talking more about the Prostate Cancer Foundation. If you want information on that, by the way, go to www.pcf.org. That's pcf.org. Well, I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, and we're going to take some time out. When we come back, we'll continue our show. We'll have Mike Vanneman, the Vice President of Development for the Prostate Cancer Foundation, back very soon. All right, we're going to turn it back to Daryl. We will return. Don't you dare go away.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audio book. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, DARRELLWAYNE.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?